Hello. Um, in this lecture video, we will be introducing the different obligations of the partners, and then we will have a detailed discussion on the obligations of the partners among themselves. So as an introduction, um, we need to identify yung iba't ibang obligations ng um, mga partners with respect to the partnership and to third persons. So, so you have let's next go to the next slide. Yan. So, huwag niyo munang pansin yung article. So, you have the partners. At itong mga partners na ito, they already have an obligation among themselves. In fact, no, the bulk of our discussion for this lecture video will revolve around the obligations of the partners among themselves. So, bawat partner ay meron ng katungkulan o obligasyon sa bawat isa. Okay. And then, itong mga partners na ito ay, syempre, bumuo sila ng, sila yung nagko-compose ng partnership. So, bukod doon sa obligations nung partners among themselves, itong mga partners natin ay meron ding obligation in favor of the partnership, no? Owing to the partnership. So bukod sa obligation nila sa isa't isa, meron pa sila bilang mga partners na obligation naman nila towards the partnership. Now you have third persons. Ito na yung mga clients nila, customers nila, the public, pwedeng the government, banks, financial institutions, suppliers, etc., etc. So these are third persons. Yung mga partners, meron silang obligations in favor of third persons. The partnership itself will also have an obligation in favor of third persons. So in effect, yung mga obligations na ito, we can group them into four. You have obligations of the partners among themselves. That's the first. Second ay obligations of the partners insofar as the partnership is concerned. Third is the obligations of the partners in favor of insofar as third persons is concerned. And fourth, the obligations of the partnership insofar as third persons are concerned. So ganun yung doon nagugrupo yung mga obligations ng with respect to the partners, the partnership, and third persons. Okay. So Article 1784 onwards, ang coverage niya ay obligations of the partners among themselves. Sabi ng Article 1784, a partnership begins from the moment of the execution of the contract unless it is otherwise stipulated. Doon muna tayo sa general rule. Kasi there's a general rule, there is an exception. Ang general rule, pinapatungkulan niya kung kailan ba nagsisimula yung partnership, the contract of partnership. Ang sabi niya, the partnership begins from the moment of the execution of the contract. At kailan na-execute ang contract? Based on our previous lecture videos, we have mentioned that contracts are consensual. Diba? Meron tayong detailed discussion on consensuality of contracts. And since a partnership is a contract, it is subject to that rule. The contract of partnership is consensual. So kailan nagsimula yung kanilang yung partnership? Kapag nagkaroon na ng meeting of the minds, no? Which is the perfection of the contract. Except we have also discussed this before, kapag ang kanilang contribution ay equal to or greater than 3,000 pesos. Ito yung threshold amount natin. Or kung meron kang contribution by way of real properties, immovables or real properties. Yan. In which case, you also have to make an inventory, written inventory of those real properties. So, kapag ito, hindi sapat na kayo ay may meeting of the minds. No? Kailangan ninyo ng formality. And the formality required is public instrument. So, yan yung mga napag-usapan natin before. In any case, ang point dito, the partnership begins from the moment of the execution of the contract. When we say execution, it's not necessarily the written instrument because again, there are partnerships na hindi naman kailangang isulat. So how do you execute something which is not written if your connotation of the term execution is the writing? Okay, so the term execution there does not pertain to the written instrument unless, no, again, there are the provisions of the partnership law with respect to the requirement of having a public instrument will apply. Tignan mo yun. Kung mag-a-apply yun, then yung execution might pertain to the execution of that public instrument. Okay? So ang sabi dito, ulitin natin, sabi ng 1784, the partnership begins from the moment of the execution of the contract. Doon nagsimula yung partnership. But kailangan niyang sabihin yun? Ba't kailangan i-provide ng 1784? Parang isipin mo, syempre, diba syempre, magsisimula yun kung kailan nila in-execute yung kontrata nila, kung kailan na-perfect yung contract of partnership. Kailangan malaman kung kailan yung petsa na yun, kasi kailangan din malaman kung kailan nag-a-arise yung obligations. Kaya ito yung first article ng obligations among obligations of the partners. Obligations of the partners. Kailangan mong ma-identify kung kailan exactly magsisimula or mag-a-arise yung obligation na yan. At mag-a-arise yung obligation na yan, syempre, kapag nagsimula yung partnership, yung contract of partnership. Diba? So, ibig sabihin, dapat alam mo din kung kailan, o para malaman din natin kung kailan ba pwedeng i-invoke itong mga obligations na ito. O may obligation ka to deliver this amount. O may obligation ka to render this service. O may obligation ka, etc. etc. Kailan mag-a-arise yung mga obligations na yan? So, importante na malaman mo kung kailan magsisimula yung partnership para alam mo rin kung kailan magsisimula yung pag-demand mo dun sa mga obligations among the partners. Yan. So, okay? I hope naintindihan natin yung importance ng Article 1784. Hindi yung mema lang siya na masabi na obvious naman, syempre the partnership will begin at the moment of the execution. So there's a reason behind ba't niya binanggit or bakit meron tayong Article 1784. So para matulungan tayo, i-guide tayo kung kailan ba magsisimula yung obligations ng mga partners. And then you have the exception. Sabi niya, although the partnership will begin from the moment of the execution of the contract, it is an exception if it is otherwise stipulated. Meaning, they can indicate in the contract of partnership kung kailan nila gusto magsimula yung partnership. So they supposedly, so for example, ang requirement ay execution ng public instrument. Supposedly, kung kailan yung in-execute yung public instrument na yan, doon magsimula yung partnership. But the partners can stipulate in that public instrument that although we are executing this public instrument ngayon, for example, May 3, 2021, they can stipulate, they can include a provision in that contract of partnership that the partnership will not immediately begin on May 3, 2021. We will defer it, the perfection or the moment that the partnership will begin is on, they can stipulate July 1, for example, July 1. So in the meantime, although na-execute na yung public instrument as proof of the formation of the partnership, hindi mo pa pwedeng i-invoke itong mga obligations na pag-uusapan natin kasi wala pang partnership to begin with. No? Kasi yung partnership nga, yung creation of the partnership, dinelay nila by stipulation in that contract of partnership. They are allowed to do that. Okay? So that's it for 1784 and the importance. Although logical lang siya, ang mas importante dito ay malaman yung purpose ng Article 1784. Let's go to the next article, 1785, which is my continuation. So dalawang slide tayo for 1785. Okay? Let us read. No? 1785, when a partnership for a fixed term or particular undertaking is continued after the termination of the term or the achievement of the particular undertaking without any express agreement, the rights, duties of the partners remain the same as they were at such termination, so far as it is consistent with a partnership at will. A continuation of the business by the partners of such of them as habitually acted therein during the term without any settlement or liquidation of the partnership affairs is prima facie evidence of the continuation of the partnership. Well, let's go to Article 1785. Let's discuss. Towards the end of the previous lecture video, di ba, nag-discuss tayo ng iba't ibang uri ng partnership. So as to the duration of the partnership, meron tayong dalawang grupo. Diba? Meron tayong dalawang grupo. As to the duration, pwede mong i-classify ang partnership. Meron kang partnership at will. Meron ka ring partnership with a fixed term. And based on this article, we can also have a partnership for a particular undertaking. Okay, so depende, titignan mo kung ang classifications na ito ay ina-identify niya kung hanggang kailan tatagal yung partnership. So doon sa unang grupo, ang tawag sa kanya partnership at will. Ibig sabihin, technically, the partners did not identify kung hanggang kailan tatagal yung partnership. So technically, they can just dictate at any time kung kailan titigil yung buhay ng partnership. Kaya nga siya tinawag na partnership at will. Ibig sabihin, on our instance, kung kailan namin gustuhin, kaya siya at will. Pag sinabi ng isang partner, ayoko na, that's at will. Tigilan na natin itong partnership na ito. Putulin na natin yung yung life niya. Yun yung partnership at will. Yung partnership with a fixed term, na at the time they entered into the contract of partnership, they already indicated kung gaano ba katagal yung itatakbo ng partnership. They can indicate 1 month, masyadong maikli nga lang yun. They can indicate 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, 50 years. Yan. That's a fixed term. Ibig sabihin, the partnership supposedly will last only for that duration, for that term, for that fixed term. Alam na nila yan beforehand. O alam natin na that this partnership will only run for 20 years. This partnership will only run for 25 or 30 or 50 years. Nakalagay. Itong partnership naman with a particular undertaking, meron siyang specific na purpose. So para siyang quote-unquote project na meron lang i-undertake na project. So for example, let's enter into a partnership for the construction of let's just say MRT 9. I don't know kung ano ba MRT natin na number. Let's say MRT 25, for sure wala pa yun. X and Y entered into a partnership for the construction of MRT 25. So that's the particular undertaking. So the partnership, the life of the partnership will coincide with that project. So pag nagsimula na yung project, meron ng partnership, simula na yung project. Pag natapos na yung project, since that is the particular undertaking, they indicated in their contract of partnership, there is nothing left to do. Kasi yun yung purpose ng specific na partnership na ito eh. Let us undertake the construction of the MRT-25. And since we are done, we are finished, na turn over natin sa government yung MRT-25, there's nothing left to do but to liquidate itong ating partnership. Tapos na siya. That's the particular undertaking. Okay? So that's so sa at will, hindi mo alam kung kailan siya matatapos kasi kung kailan lang maisipan ng mga partners. Sa fixed term and particular undertaking, alam mo kasi fixed term naka-identify kung gaano ba katagal yung partnership. Yung particular undertaking, alam mo kasi pag natapos na yung particular undertaking na yan, tapos na rin yung buhay ng project. Except for, syempre, meron ka pang period for dissolution and liquidation. So anong sinasabi ng Article 1785? Sa Article 1785, ang pinapatungkulan niya ay yung pangalawang grupo. Yung mga partnership with a fixed term or partnership formed for a particular undertaking. Ang nangyayari, as we have discussed, kapag dumating na or natapos na yung fixed term, kapag nakompleto mo na yung particular undertaking, supposedly tapos na yung partnership. Tapos na yung buhay ng partnership. Pero Article 1785 contemplates a situation kung saan despite the lapse of the fixed term, despite the completion of the particular undertaking, tinuloy pa rin ng mga partners. Diba? Imbis na tapos na yung partnership, tinuloy pa rin nila. No? Tinuloy pa rin nila. Sa anong meron ngayon dito? If the partnership is continued after the termination of the term or the completion of the particular undertaking without any express agreement, hindi naman sila nag-usap-usap pero tinuloy pa rin nila, the rights and duties of the partners will remain the same. Ibig sabihin parang i-continue lang natin. And in fact, it will be converted, not really converted, but it is consistent with a partnership at will. Parang if you think about it, natapos na talaga yung fixed term, natapos na talaga yung particular undertaking. Pero nagtuloy-tuloy pa rin tayo. So okay, sabi ng 1785, okay lang yan. So kung ano yung rights ninyo, duties ninyo, and obligations ninyo, at that time na supposedly natapos na yung fixed term, na kompleto na yung particular undertaking, tuloy nyo lang, same lang siya. Yung status quo, ganun pa rin. So far is it consistent with partnership at will. So parang sinasabi niya, parang nako-convert siya into a partnership at will. Tuloy lang ninyo, then the partners can just decide kung kailan siya matatapos. Kasi technically, tapos na talaga siya, pero dahil tinuloy ninyo, naging partnership at will siya. Okay. A continuation of the business by the partners or such of them, kung hindi sila lahat, as habitually acted therein during the term, without any settlement or liquidation of the partnership affairs is prima facie presumptuous evidence of the continuation of the partnership. So going back to the nature of partnership at will, partnership with a fixed term and particular undertaking. Kapag dumating na yung natapos na yung fixed term or natapos mo na, na-fulfill mo na yung particular undertaking, na-terminated na yung buhay ng partnership. And you will proceed with dissolution and liquidation. Yun yung kasunod na dapat na kwento mo eh. O tapos na yung 50 years na pinag-usapan natin o terminate na, liquidate na, dissolve na. Dissolve na and liquidate. O natapos na natin nabuo yung MRT-25. And that is the particular undertaking kung bakit nabuo itong partnership na ito. O tapos na yung partnership, let's proceed with dissolution and liquidation. Pero kung walang nangyaring ganon, without any settlement, without dissolution or liquidation of the partnership affairs, despite the fact na natapos na yung term, natapos na, nakumpleto na yung particular undertaking, without the partners having any settlement or liquidation of the partnership, it is a prima facie, it is a presumption. Nag-a-arise yung presumption na ito ay continuation na ng partnership. Anong klaseng partnership to? Partnership at will. Bago tayo mag-proceed doon, I just need to clarify na itong partnership with a fixed term or partnership with a particular undertaking ay hindi, yung misconception ay ang partnership with a fixed term or partnership with a particular undertaking ay hindi maaaring ma-dissolve or ma-terminate hanggat hindi natatapos yung fixed term or yung undertaking. That is a misconception. Technically, lahat ng partnership ay partnership at will. Technically, lahat ng partnership ay partnership at will. Ibig sabihin, even if meron siyang fixed term, even if meron siyang particular undertaking, if it is the will of one of the partners to revoke or to withdraw or to terminate yung status niya as a partner, then there's nothing that the other partners can. Hindi niya pwedeng i-compel. Diba? We have discussed before the nature of the relationship between the parties. Meron silang fiduciary relationship which is based on trust and confidence. Kung isang partner, hindi niya na nafe-feel itong trust and confidence na ito, sad. Hindi niya na nafe-feel yung trust and confidence. Parang wala nang sense sa kanya, hindi na nakakarating sa kanya yung fiduciary nature ng partnership, then you cannot compel that partner. Hindi, tuloy mo lang. Hindi pwede. Kapag ayaw niya na, ayaw niya na. Kung gusto niya na mag-withdraw from the partnership, then the other partners cannot compel, hindi. Stay ka lang sa amin. Bawal yon. Even if they go to court, judge, utusan mo siya na magstay dito sa partnership. Kasi nag-usap kami, 50 years dapat to. Kasi nag-usap kami, particular undertaking. Until matapos yung MRT 25, dapat partner na siya. Hindi ganun. Walang ganun. Sabi lang ni judge, ayaw niya na kayong partner eh. Anong magagawa ninyo? So in effect, kapag ayaw niya na, ma-withdraw siya and he cannot be compelled to go back into the partnership or to remain, to continue with the partnership against his will. Kung ayaw niya talaga. Ba? Again, ang basis mo dyan is yung fiduciary nature of the relationship between the partners in a partnership. Pero tandaan ninyo, although ganun nga, maaari siya maging liable for damages, especially if unjustified yung withdrawal. Kasi syempre usually, meron naman siyang dahilan bakit ayaw niya na. Hindi na ako nagtiwala sa kanila na discover ko na mismanaged yung affairs. So, for example, ganun, na merong unjustified, unaccounted portion ng funds. May mga pondo hindi alam kung saan napupunta. Unliquidated funds. May pondong ni-release, hindi alam kung for what purpose. So ikaw, syempre, ipapayagan mo pa ba yung sarili mo na mag-continue sa ganong klaseng environment? Hindi mo alam kung saan napupunta yung mga resources. You can withdraw, di ba? Yoko na, ba't pa ako magsasayang ng panahon ko dito or magsasayang ng oras ko? Pero kung ayaw, syempre hindi ka na mapipigilan. And hopefully, you will not be liable for damages for withdrawing prior to the expiration of the term or the accomplishment of the particular undertaking. Pero, if nag-withdraw ka lang without any reason, ayoko na kasi sa itsura ninyo. Ganun lang. Unjustified. Ayoko na sa itsura ninyo. Again, ang unang tanong natin dyan, can he be compelled to remain in the partnership knowing na there's no sufficient or sufficient justification for the withdrawal? Can that person be compelled to continue as a partner? The answer is still no. Hindi pa rin. Hindi mo pwedeng i-insist na, wala namang kwenta yung dahilan mo eh. Dapat magtuloy ka lang as a partner. No, it will not happen. It is not allowed under our laws. If a person does not want to associate himself with another person, then we cannot compel that person to make such association. Pero ano yun? Unjustified yung withdrawal niya. There is no reason for him or her to revoke or to terminate the partnership, then papayagan pa rin siya na mag-withdraw from the partnership, pero liable siya for damages. Liable siya for damages. Siyempre. Okay? So, medyo malayo sa Article 1785, but again, there's no partnership that the partners are not allowed to withdraw. No, walang ganon. Even if fixed term siya, 50 years, kahit 5 years pa lang, kung gusto niya mag-withdraw ng isa, hayaan mo lang siya. Pero, if wala siyang dahilan for the withdrawal, although hindi mo nga siya pwedeng pilitin na mag-continue with the partnership, pwede mo siyang ihabla at maging liable for damages, particularly for breach of contract. Breach of contract yun. At 20 years yung pinirmahan natin 25 years or 50 years, tapos 5 taon pa lang, mag-withdraw ka na from the contract. That's a breach of contract and you will be held liable for damages for breach of contract. Okay? Especially, paulit-ulit ko na baga, I cannot stress this enough. No person can be compelled to associate himself as a partner in a partnership against his will. Bawal yun. 1786. Every partner is a debtor of the partnership for whatever he may have promised to contribute thereto. He shall also be bound for warranty in case of eviction with regard to specific and determinate things which he may have contributed to the partnership, in the same pieces and in the same manner as the vendor is bound with respect to the vendee. He shall also be liable for the fruits thereof, from the time they should have been delivered without the need of any demand. Okay, so meron tayong dalawang slide na kailangang aralin. So for Article 1786, ang sabi niya, yung nature ng relationship between the partner and the partnership yung juridical tie nila, yung legal tie nilang dalawa is that of a debtor-creditor relationship. Pero hindi sa lahat ng pagkakataon. Ina-specify ng Article 1786 kung kailan consider debtor-creditor relationship between partner and the partnership. Nagiging debtor siya ng partnership for the contribution which he has promised to the partnership. Di ba sa simula ng partnership, sabi natin, by definition, kailangan meron kang contribution. Di ba? By the contract of partnership, two or more persons bind themselves to contribute money, property, or industry into a common fund. So, dito pumapasok yung unang obligation ng isang partner to contribute capital, to contribute money, to contribute property, yan, of it, or to contribute industry. Every partner is a debtor of the partnership for whatever he may have promised to contribute thereto. So insofar as that contribution is concerned, ang tingin ng batas sa relationship between the debtor and the creditor is that the partnership and the partnership, the partners and the partnership, puro blunder. Third time's a charm. Between the partner and the partnership is that the partner is the debtor and the partnership is the creditor. So, yung mga rights and obligations between the debtor and the creditor na natutunan natin sa Law on Obligations and Contracts will apply with respect to the partners and the partnership insofar as the capital contributions of the partners is concerned. Okay? Again, 1786, first paragraph, ang relationship between the partner and the partnership insofar as the capital contributions are concerned is debtor-creditor relationship. Second paragraph. Okay, dito naman ang kanilang relationship ay seller-buyer. Okay. Ano 'yon? Nag-a-apply yung second paragraph ng Article 1786 kung ang isang partner ay nag-contribute ng specific and determinate things. So meron siyang ang contribution ng specific thing. May car, may only car. This equipment, etc. etc. Hindi money yung kanyang pinaprovide, yung kanyang contribution. Ang kanyang contribution na specific or determinate things. So kapag ang contribution ng isang partner ay specific or determinating, yun yung capital niya, liable siya or bound siya ng warranty against eviction. Warranty against eviction. In the same case, in the same manner as the vendor or the seller yan, is bound with respect to the vendee, buyer. So kanina, ang sabi natin, parang ang kanilang relationship ay debtor-creditor. Ngayon, dito, ang kanilang relationship ay seller-buyer. No? Insofar as the contribution involving specific and determinate things are concerned. Okay. Ano ba yung relationship between the seller and the buyer? So sa contract of sales, no? Siguro natutunan niyo na to. Itong seller, meron siyang obligation to deliver something specific or determinate. Meron siyang i-deliver na specific or determinate thing doon kay buyer. Alam niyo naman, syempre, si buyer will pay the consideration, the price, certain in money. Ito yun yung the bilateral, simple view of the bilateral relationship between the seller or reciprocal relationship between the seller and the buyer. The seller will deliver the specific or determinate thing while the buyer will pay for the price, no? The consideration. So for example, ang subject matter nito ay car. Since this is a contract of sale, yung deliver na car ni seller kay B ay subject to implied warranties. So meron siyang dalawang warranty. Una, yung nakalagay dito. Warranty against eviction. So meron siyang warranty against eviction. Ano ibig sabihin nun? Yung layman na pagkaintindi sa eviction, pinapaalis. Ine-evict. Alis ka dyan. Kunyari sa PBB, pag eviction night, anong ginagawa dyan sa mga housemate na na-evict? Pinapaalis, pinapalabas ng bahay. Yun yung eviction. Diba? As applied here, ano yung warranty ng seller against eviction? So, ang kanilang para siyang garantiya warranty. Ang garantiya ng seller dun sa buyer with respect to the car is that magkakaroon siya ng peaceful and continued possession of the car. And hindi siya, walang kukuha sa kanya niyan or hindi siya papaalisin dyan. Kung lupa, for example, yung pinag-uusapan, I'm selling you this land at meron niya akong warranty against eviction. Meaning, ginagarantiya ng seller doon sa buyer ng lupa na peaceful yung possession, magiging peaceful yung possession niya doon sa lupa. Sinasabi ng seller doon sa buyer na walang aagaw na sa'yo. Sinasabi ng seller doon sa buyer na hindi ka dyan mapapaalis. Yun yung mga garantiyan niya. Meron siyang warranty against eviction. You will not be evicted from the property that I am selling to you. Kunyari, kotse, you will not be evicted from this car. No? Habang ginagamit mo siya, peaceful mo siyang magagamit. Walang kukuha niyan sa'yo. Hindi yan kukunin ng bangko sa'yo. Hindi yan kukunin ng third person sa'yo. Hindi yan kukunin ng gobyerno sa'yo. Lahat yan malinis. No? I paid for the taxes. I paid for the mortgage. I paid for the purchase price. That is my warranty. Ayan. Implied yan. Ibig sabihin, even if hindi sila nag-uusap, yung seller and buyer, merong implied warranty yung seller against eviction. So, meron pa siyang isa, although hindi siya subject matter dito, warranty against hidden defect. Siyempre, hindi ko naman ito expound. Pero para lang may idea kayo. And ano naman, obvious naman sa pangalan ko anong ginagarantiya ng seller dun sa warranty against hidden defect. Sinasabi niya dun sa buyer na itong kotse na binibenta ko sa'yo ay walang hidden defect. Walang hidden defect yan. Again, kahit hindi pag-usapan yan, it is an implied warranty. So pinagpapalagay ng batas na meron. Kahit di kayo nag-usap, pinagpapalagay, sinasabi ng batas, hindi, meron yan. Unless exclude ninyo. O magbebenta ko sa inyo ng kotse, wala tong warranty against eviction. Wala tong warranty against hidden defect. Siyempre, that would alert the buyer, ay, baka ano to, baka delikado tong kotse na to. Baka hinatak lang to, may foreclosure. Or baka hindi to na-maintain, etc. etc. Wala siyang warranty against eviction or hidden defect. Delikado. Okay? Pero, again, kung wala silang pag-usap, silent yung situation, hindi binanggit ng problem kung meron ba o wala, you have to presume na meron. Meron siyang warranty against eviction. Kaya lang, ang dami pinag-usapan, pero contract of sale yun. How does it apply sa contract of partnership? So kung meron kang, kung si P ay partner sa OPQ partnership, kung si P ay partner sa OPQ partnership at ang kanyang contribution ay kotse, yung kanyang contribution, capitalist partner siya, then yung kotse ang kinontribute niya. Then, since that car is specific or a determinate thing, kahit hindi banggitin, kahit hindi stipulate, P has this implied warranty against eviction. Sinasabi ni P dun sa OPQ partnership na ito yung contribution ko, kotse. So, ito yung contribution ko sa partnership. At aking ginagarantiya, o ganun ulit, aking ginagarantiya na ito ay hindi kukunin ng bangko, hindi kukunin ng gobyerno, o hindi kukunin ng iba kung sino mang tao. Yun yung aking garantiya. Yan. Naintindihan sana natin. Second, he shall also be liable for the fruits thereof from the time they should have been delivered without need of any demand. Okay, so meron tayong dalawang konsepto dito na sana alam natin sa Oblicon. Fruits, ito yung fruits, meron tayong tatlong klaseng fruits. Natural fruit, industrial, at saka civil. Natural, industrial, at saka civil. Yung mga fruits natin. Ang sabi niya dito, kung ikaw ay nangako, isang partner ay nangako, nang magko-contribute siya, let's say, ng pera na lang, for example, pera na lang, magko-contribute siya ng pera niya on May 3, 2021, sabi niya. May 3, 2021. Nag-uusap sila sometime in January. Ang contribution ko May 3 ko, ibibigay yan. 10 million pesos. Dumating yung May 3. Again, January 2 sila nag-usap, no? May 3 dumating, 2021. Sabi, without even a need for demand at hindi niya dineliver yung 10 million pesos na sinabi niyang i-deliver niya on May 3, liable na siya for interest. Because interest is a fruit. Yun yung fruit mo pagdating sa pera. So liable na siya for interest on that. Nakalagay pa, without need of demand. Pag-usapan lang natin ng mabilis, ano yung rule natin? ND. Rule natin sa Oblicon, no demand, no delay. No demand, no delay. Meaning, hanggat hindi nagkakaroon ng judicial or extrajudicial demand from the creditor, the debtor will not be will not be considered in legal delay. So, kung gusto mong ma-delay, no, para maging delayed ang debtor, kailangan muna ng creditor na mag-serve ng judicial or extrajudicial demand. Kung wala yung demanda yon, the debtor cannot be considered in delay. No demand, no delay. May mga exception dyan. No? Sa rule, yun yung general rule. No demand, no delay. Pero may mga exception na provide, and one of the exception will be Article 1786 actually. Supposedly, yung ano niya, yung right ng partnership to demand interest will be after demand pa lang. Pero sabi ng Article 1786, even without need of demand, kahit hindi mag-serve ng judicial or extrajudicial demand, yung partnership on May 3, considered na agad in delay yung partner na nag-promise na magde-deliver siya ng 10 million at automatic pag tumakbo yung panahon, kailangan niya magbayad ng interest in favor of the partnership. Again, this is without the need of any demand. Medyo mahirap yan. No? Mahirap yan. Kahit na hindi ka dinedemand, walang demand letter na dumating sa'yo, you will still be liable for interest. Ibig sabihin, automatic yung nag-a-arise yung liability on May 3, yung agreed date nila. Tama lang din naman kasi you agreed eh. You already agreed that you will deliver 10 million on May 3. So, dapat look out mo na on May 3, you have that money, 10 million, available for delivery to the partnership. Kapag wala, you will be liable for the fruits, no, of that property which you mentioned you will deliver on a specific date, and the counting or the accrual of the fruits will continue even without demand. Even without demand. 1787. So, when the capital or a part thereof, which a partner is bound to contribute, consists of goods, their appraisal must be made in the manner prescribed in the contract of partnership. And in the absence of stipulation, it shall be made by experts chosen by the partners, and according to current prices, the subsequent changes thereof being for the account of the partnership. So kapag meron kang i-contribute for it na non-cash goods eh. So kapag cash yung contribute mo, 1787 will not apply. Pero kung non-cash ang i-contribute mo, ang sinasagot ng 1787, how much capital will be credited to you? Yun yung pinag-uusapan dito. Magkano ang capital mo with respect to this contribution? Kasi kung cash yan, wala na bang ibang valuation on cash kundi face value. Diba? Kung ikaw ay nag-contribute ng 10 million, then ang credit mo or ang capital contribution mo ay 10 million. Hindi 9, hindi 11, kundi 10. Because cash is valued at face value. Pero paano kung ito ay non-cash? Nagbigay ka ng kotse, nagbigay ka ng equipment, nagbigay ka ng inventory. Yun yung contribution mo. How much is the capitalization with respect to these contributions? Okay. Una will be what we call the agreed price or the agreed value. Pinag-aaralan nyo ito sa advanced, hindi ko alam kung anong subject nyo ngayon, pangalan ng subject nyo ngayon. Advanced Financial Accounting Reporting. Advanced Financial Accounting and Reporting sa AFR. Okay? Agreed value. So even if ang value niya ay 10 million, if they agreed na ang credit niya ay 9,500,000, then that will prevail. Kasi yun yung agreed value. Dapat yung agreement na yan should be reduced in the contract of partnership. That's the agreed value. So kahit ganito yung tambak-tambak ng inventory, ang contribution mo, ang agreed value natin ay so and so, 8 million or 13 or 15 or 20. As long as it is the agreed value, then yun yung mag-prevail. Siyempre, merong special tayong accounting for this one. Anong gagawin mo dun sa diferensya? What if ang totoong value ng contribution niya ay 10 million pero na-record lang at 8? Anong gagawin dun sa 2? O kaya naman kabaliktaran. Ang agreed value ay 10 pero totoo 8 lang naman yung contribution. Anong mangyayari dun sa 2 million na difference? Again, that is a question addressed to advanced financial accounting and reporting. Dito ang point natin, pag tinanong ka, oy, may contribution ka, anong contribution mo, cash? Magkano? Yun yung interest mo. O, ikaw may contribution ka dyan, si B naman. Ano yung contribution mo? Non-cash. We have to agree. Yan, agreed value. We have to agree. Magkano ang valuation niya? Okay? Without that valuation, without that valuation, kung walang agreed value, ano daw ang sunod? Those made by experts. So, kailangan nung mga partners to engage the services of experts. So, for example, kotse yung kinontribute. They don't know. Walang agreed value. Tinanong mo sila, magkano po kayo willing to i-credit in your partnership? They don't know. So, pwede kang mag-refer sa mga experts. Siyempre, yung magiging decision ng expert, tignan ninyo kung baka naman sobra yung kanyang estimate or sobrang baba ng kanyang estimate. Tignan ninyo yung naging basehan ng expert in arriving at that amount. And based on your understanding of it, based on your discretion, accept niyo or reject niyo yung tawag dito, yung proposal ng expert. Okay. Siyempre, pag ikaw yung expert, ang isa sa mga i-consider mo ay yung current price or mas kilala natin, mas alam nyo, ang tawag dito ay fair market value. Fair market value. So yung sa expert. Ano po ang fair market value ng kotse na to? Magkano ba fair market value ng jewelry na ito? Or ng libro na ito? Etc. etc. If you cannot agree amongst yourself, kasi kung mag-agree kayo, ano lang natin yan, 5,000 lang. Ito 10,000. And that's it. If you agreed and kung wala naman nanlalamang sa inyo, walang nanloloko, walang fraud, violence, intimidation, mistake, undue influence, then okay lang yung agreement na yan. Pero kung wala, you refer to the experts. Okay? And then sabi niya, closing sentence ng 1787, any change in the fair market value will be for the account of the partnership. Ibig sabihin, kung meron daw increase in the value of the property, kasi pina-appraise mo siya, di ba? Yan, pina-appraise mo, or meron kayong agreement kung magkano yung valuation niya. And then later on, tumaas, for example, yung value ng property na yan, yung change na yan will be for the account of the partnership. Sa partnership, mapupunta yan. Pero in the same way na kapag yan ay bumaba, ganun ulit. The partnership will suffer. Okay, that's article. I hope you understand article 1787. Ano nga ito? Pag nag-contribute ng hindi cash, anong unang valuation? Agreed value. Pag walang agreed value, refer to the experts. Pag wala, you can refer to the fair market value. Actually, you have to refer to the fair market value. And if there are changes in the valuation, agreed value, fair market value, and then the value proposed by the experts, any change will be for the account of the partnership. 1788 is a repetition of the previous article. Meron tayong article about being a debtor. A partner who has undertaken to contribute a sum of money and fails to do so becomes a debtor for the interest and damages from the time he should have complied with his obligation. So, umulit lang siya. Ang point dito, yung partner na yan ay ituturing nating debtor. May utang siya sa partnership. Pero yung kanyang utang ngayon, pinaklarify ng 1788, will not be limited doon sa amount na kanyang supposedly i-contribute. You also have to, that partner will also be held liable for the payment of interest as well as for the payment of damages, yung danyos na kanyang idinulot dahil sa kanyang delay, no, sa pag-deliver ng kanyang perang ipinangako. Okay? Ganun talaga, no? Basta debtor ka, whether you are a partner debtor or a regular debtor, kapag meron kang i-deliver na pera and you fail to do, no, on that day, maaari kang patawan ng interest at ng danyos. The same rule applies to any amount he may have taken from the partnership coffers, and his liability shall begin from the time he converted the amount to his own use. So ito naman, na-contribute na. So nag-form part na siya ng common fund. From the common fund, may nagkumuha. For example, si X. Si X took an amount from the partnership coffers or the common fund. Ang ginawa niya, instead of using it for partnership purposes, ginamit niya for own use. Ginamit niya for his or her own benefit. Instead na ang mag-beneficial, yung mag-benefit ay yung partnership, hindi. Parang sinarili niya yung pera. Supposedly, pagmamayari ng partnership. Ano mangyayari? Si X ay merong liability to reimburse. Kailangan niyang ibalik yung kinuha niya. At syempre, pag binalik niya yan, meron ding from the time na kinuha niya, hindi from the time na idemanda, from the time na kinuha niya yung pera na yan, liable siya for damages and interest. At kung napatunayan pa na merong panlolokong nagaganap, merong fraud involved doon sa pag-convert niya ng pera ng partnership to his own use, pwede pa siyang maging liable for estafa. Kasi merong conversion na nangyari dito. Pero hindi sapat yung conversion. There must be fraud. Yung critical element ng estafa. May panlolokong nagaganap. Pero syempre, no, you can just think about it. Hindi mo naman pera yan. Pera ng partnership yan. Ba't mo ginamit? Pero walang presumption of fraud, ha? You still have to prove. Hindi pwedeng sabi-sabi lang, pera ng partnership yan. Ginamit niya. Fraud yun. Fraud. Estafa. Hindi ganon. Marami kang kailangan patunayan kung ikay maghahabla. Okay? 1788 ang sinasabi niya, kapag ikaw ay kumuha ng pera at ginamit mo for your own use, kinonvert mo siya into own use, then you are liable to reimburse the partnership, including interest, including damages, and there's no need for demand. Hindi mag-a-apply yung no demand, no delay. You will be liable for it even if without demand being served upon you. Your liability shall begin from the time you converted the amount to your own use. Simula nung ginamit mo siya for your own use, nung kinonvert mo siya to your own use, na misappropriate mo siya, then simula na agad yung counting nung karapatan nung partnership to ask for the return of the amount, to ask for the interest, to ask for the damages, and as well as to ask for interest. No need for a demand. Okay? 1789. 1789 ay nag-a-apply lamang sa isang industrial partner. We have discussed before ano ibig sabihin ng industrial partner. Ang kanyang contribution sa partnership ay ang kanyang services. Maaari din siyang maging capitalist industrial, pero tinutukoy dito industrial partner. No? Basta ikaw ay industrial partner, merong prohibition on your part. Bawal kang mag-engage in business for yourself. Hindi tayo nagbasa, pero yun, pwede mong basahin yan. 1789. Sinasabi ng 1789 na kapag ikaw ay industrial partner, hindi ka maaaring gumawa ng isa pang business or to engage in business para sa sarili mo. Is it required na nagko-compete? No? Same nature ba yung business na yun? Hindi. Whether it will compete or not with a partnership, then you are not allowed to do so. So malawak yung prohibition sa mga industrial partner. Diba, nag-business kayo for example ng construction supplies. Naisipan mong magtayo ng bakery. Alam mo na hindi magko-compete yun. Hindi ba magko-compete ang bakery at saka yung construction supplies. Pero under Article 1789, you are not allowed to do so. The industrial partner cannot engage in business for himself. That's a general rule. You have the exception if the partnership expressly permits him to do so. So kapag sa partnership contract nakalagay na pwede ka, yung industrial partner ay pwede din. Pwede kasi binanggit dun sa contract. Pero as a general rule, and in fact, nagiging absolute ito. Pero general rule pa rin siya. The industrial partner is not allowed to engage in any other business for himself. What if sinaway niya? If he should do so, ang sabi, wag ka mag-business eh. The capitalist partners may either exclude him from the firm or to avail themselves of the benefits which may have obtained in violation of the provision with a right to damages in either case. So sabi ng partnership, bawal bawal, di ka pwedeng mag-business ng ibang undertaking, whether competition yan or hindi. Hindi pwede, bawal. Okay. Sinaway. Meron silang construction supplies, nagtayo ng bakery. Nagtayo siya ng bakery. So kahit hindi pa yan competing businesses, liable pa rin si partner, si industrial partner. Anong gagawin ng ibang partner na naiwan? May dalawa silang option. Una, exclude siya from the firm. Tanggalin ka na. Pinapakiusapan ka namin, dito ka lang. Kulit-kulit mo. Kung saan ka nagsusuot, kung ano ang business na napasok mo. Hindi namin maramdaman yung loyalty mo dito sa partnership na ito. Tanggal ka na. Yun yung una. Pangalawa, hindi ka tanggal, pero kukunin nila yung benefits. So, magkano ba kinita mo dyan? Magkano kinita mo dyan sa pag-bakery mo? Kukunin natin yan. And it will now redound to the benefit of the partnership. Amin na yan. Ganun. Mamili tayo, sabi ng ibang partners. Either tatanggalin natin siya sa partnership na ito or magstay siya. Pero yung kinita niya doon sa other business na yan ay kukunin natin. Medyo gahaman yung choice na yan. Again, whether number 1 or number 2 ang piliin nila, exclude nila, o kaya kunin yung benefits, they have the right to ask for damages. Whether 1, so ibig sabihin exclude plus damages, o kaya number 2, avail the benefits plus damages. Unless there is a stipulation to the contrary, the partner shall contribute equal shares to the capital of the partnership. So, ano sinasabi niya dito? Ang presumption, if you do not know any other information for that matter, you have to presume that the contribution, hindi yung sharing ng profits, yung contribution ay equal. So if you do not know, alam mo lang ang capital ay 4 million, alam mo rin na may 4 na partners, but you don't know, although you can check, pero hindi mo alam. Hindi mo alam kung ano. You can presume na equal yung kanilang contribution. Tigo 1 million sila. If there's stipulation to the contrary, then the stipulation will apply. Okay? So, since it's already almost 1 hour, from the start of the discussion. I will have to pause and I will continue the discussion on this topic on the next video. See you on the next video.